So it is New Year's Day. It's the 1st of January and it's currently 10:30 at night. And I've got really bad hiccups and burps right now. To be more specific, it is week 37, day 3. My God, it really is scary to think there is not long left at all of this pregnancy. It still feels so far away. I've said this a few times, but it does. It still feels so far away. It still feels like I've got over a month to go and I've not. I've really not. Today has not gone to plan in any way, shape or form. Baby decided that today was going to be a sleepy day. So I have spent 80% of the day in bed, fast asleep. I'm not even joking. We saw in the new year last night. We did what we always do when it's just us two home together for New Year's Eve, and we put the fireworks on BBC to watch the fireworks in London. And on the run up to New Year, we were chilling. I was doing video editing because I wanted to try and get as many videos done as possible. And I did. I actually got 3 videos done last night, or yesterday in general, so I was very proud of myself. Jason was just playing his games. We were listening to a bit of music. We watched the countdown and the fireworks started going off, and obviously London always throws the biggest fireworks. Like it looks spectacular every time. And I got so emotional, so freaking emotional, and I don't know why. I wasn't feeling sad. I wasn't particularly feeling happy or excited or scared, but I just burst into tears. Like literally just tears streaming down my eyes. Not ugly crying type of thing, but I just could not stop the tears from flowing and the emotions from building up. And like I said, it wasn't any specific emotion. My body just wanted to cry. It just suddenly felt very overwhelmed and very emotional. And I was just bawling with tears while hugging Jason, wishing him Happy New Year and cuddling at the desks. And it was just the weirdest sensation because I haven't been like that at all through my whole pregnancy. I had that little breakdown back towards the end of the first trimester, early second trimester. But other than that, I've not particularly been emotional. There's only been 1 or 2 days where I've been particularly emotional. For some reason, those fireworks just set me off. I can only assume subconsciously it was my brain acknowledging that this is the year. Like, the most amazing year of my life to date has gone. It has ended. The year that we bought our own house, the year we got engaged, the year that we got pregnant, the year that I had to close my dog walking business. It's the start of the next year. Oh my gosh, that amazing year has gone, and we are about to start the new year. It's the year where our lives are going to change forever. I, as a person, am going to change forever, because that's what pregnancy and motherhood does to you. It changes you physically, it changes you hormonally, it changes you psychologically. I've heard so many people say it and explain it, that when you actually go through pregnancy, go through labor, and you become a mother, your body goes through this huge physiological and psychological drastic change. And I don't know whether or not subconsciously that was in my brain, or whether or not I'm just emotional because this is the year that my baby is born. I just felt overwhelmed. I just felt so many emotions, and I was just crying, and I could not stop crying for the whole of the firework display. And we didn't stay up very late after the fireworks because I was already flagging. We're so used to going to bed between like 10 and 11 now. Our bodies just naturally want to do it. So we headed up to bed. I think it was between 12:30 and 1 o'clock. And I actually had a really good night's sleep. I had a really solid night's sleep. A couple of rolly moments, a couple of moments where Jason accidentally hit my nipple, which really stung. So for example, he'd roll over and his arm would like trap my nipple underneath his arm, or bash it with his elbow by accident. That would obviously wake me up briefly, but then I'd go back to sleep and it was all good. I woke up twice. I think it was 3 a.m. and 6 a.m. for the toilet, and that was it. Other than that, I had a really freaking good night's sleep. But I didn't wake up until 10 o'clock in the morning. I really struggled to wake up this morning, really freaking struggled. Thankfully, Jason was off work today, so he got up and sorted out the animals. He fed the birds, fed the cat, but I was shattered. I was exhausted. I finally woke up out of sheer hunger. So after I woke up at 10 o'clock, the very first thing I did was try and do some colostrum harvesting, because they say you need to do it 3 times a day. So I try and do it in the morning when I first wake up, about halfway through the day around 3, and then again before I go to bed. I did a little bit of colostrum harvesting attempting. Nothing really came out. Both boobs produced a tiny few droplets of colostrum, but that's it. Not enough to physically harvest, although I did try, or I got practicing with the syringe and using the syringe one-handed so that I can try and collect the colostrum. But nothing really came out neat from either boob. It's just like the tiniest couple of droplets. Came downstairs, had breakfast, And within an hour of having breakfast, I was falling asleep again. I was really freaking tired, and I fought it and I battled it all the way through till about 12:30. And I just physically couldn't battle it anymore. I said to Jason, I'm really sorry, I need to go for a nap. Don't know why I apologise, because he knows what pregnancy does to a woman. He's been doing his... Oh dear, pardon me. He's been doing his own research, so he knows that at this stage of pregnancy, when your body's getting ready for labour, all it wants to do is sleep and rest and recover in preparation for the extreme exhaustion that's about to come. So I went up to bed, I had a nap, I napped for 3 hours. Nothing was waking me up. I was gone to the world. I could still hear a lot of things going on around me. So I was like semi-conscious, but I was full on asleep. Woke up between 4 and half 4 approximately. And like I said, that's usually around the time I try and do my second colostrum harvest. So I did my second colostrum harvest attempt, and I actually got a good amount out for the first time. My left breast actually produced a couple of droplets, which I was like, oh wow, that's actually the most it's produced so far. And it's still very difficult to get it out my left breast. My left breast hasn't quite worked out what I want of it, sort of thing. However, my right breast, just while I was massaging it, getting it ready for the production, already started producing a couple of little beads, going, yep, I'm ready, let's go. And I actually managed to produce a little bit, like the tiniest amount, the smallest amount, but my right breast especially actually managed to produce a good chunk. It's like I actually was able to collect an amount in the syringe. And I do actually have a photo of it, which I'll put right here to give you an idea of how much I collected. Anyway, after the collection, came downstairs, had my dinner, or had something to eat, because at this point I hadn't eaten for like 6 hours and I was starving. And I decided, because I hadn't had anything to eat earlier, I was going to have a really carb heavy, very filling meal. So I did. I had spaghetti with a little bit of cheese and a whole avocado, and that filled me up really nicely, which I know is not much. I still need to have my protein for the day, but it helped. It helped a lot. It filled me up. It did exactly what I needed it to do. Within less than 2 hours of having that meal, I was falling asleep again. So at 6:30, I went back upstairs for another nap. I have literally spent the first day of 2026 sleeping the entire day. But this time when I went down for a nap, my brain stayed active. My brain did not want to turn off. My brain was telling me that it had enough of sleep, it was active, it was raring to go, it wanted to get stuff done, but my body and my eyes were exhausted. So I went down for a nap. And even though my brain stayed turned on and conscious and alert and so freaking noisy for the entire time, my body was very grateful for the rest and grateful just to be in bed, chilling and relaxing. So I stayed in bed for an hour and a half, because I got up, I think it was around 8ish. I went down about 6:30 and I got up about 8. Came downstairs, had a snack, had some ice lollies with Jason, had a catch up. I was in a 50-50 mind about whether or not to actually do some exercise, because I was still really exhausted and really tired, and I'm still really exhausted and really tired, but not enough to physically go down for a nap, or not enough for me to actually go upstairs and go to bed, because my brain is wide awake and my body is now fully rested, but not rested enough to actually do too much movement and activity, if that makes sense. I had a snack, I've done loads of video editing, I've got week 31.1 finished today. So I'm doing really, really well at catching up, which I am so grateful for. Like, this maternity leave has been so beneficial. Oh, pardon me. My God, third trimester burps are hitting me hard and fast right now. But this maternity leave so far has been so beneficial for me for actually catching up with my videos and getting them out, or getting them scheduled to be out in preparation. I think I'm now less than 6 weeks behind, which is great, because when I get down to like 2 weeks behind, I can go down to one a week or 2 a week. Anyway, not long finished video 31.1. Jason said he was going to bed, and I only just realised it was past 10 o'clock. I think it's about 10:30. No, good Lord. It's 11:20. It's even later. I ain't going to bed yet. I'm wide awake and I need more food. But I've actually just come back down from upstairs to do my third bout of colostrum harvesting for the day, because apparently you need to try and do it 3 times a day to help encourage production. And my freaking God, my boobs were ready for it this afternoon. I'm not even kidding. My left boob, who is usually the lazy producer, actually produced several large droplets of colostrum. Not a huge amount, but 3 times more than what it produced this afternoon or any day previous. My right boob was ready to go. It was like, yes, I know exactly what you want from me. Just squeeze me the right way and we're going. And it got to the point where it was dribbling down my boob. It was coming out so much more than expected. I was getting really big, huge droplets, and I actually managed to fill near, I think it was 0.2 mil or something like that of a syringe of just what came, like mostly what came out of my right boob, but also what's the very few drops that came out of my left boob. And that's nearly 3 times more than what came out this afternoon. It's fascinating. It is absolutely fascinating to see it change and develop and start producing more and more and more as the days go on. And that is how milk production works. It's supply and demand. The more you try and supply it, or the more you demand it, the more the supply increases. But you don't want to do it too much because you don't want to damage the breast tissue, and vice versa. You don't want to become an overproducer and then get it watered down. Then you also want to make sure there's still some available for baby when baby arrives. It's madness. Although I did message my sister, we've been chatting, and she did say to me, not my pregnant sister, my other sister with 4 kids, she said to me, well, why are you doing this? It's like, why is this necessary? And I pointed out that my midwife actually recommended I do it. Hi, Minion. Sorry, he's just started moving around. Because I am classed as a high-risk pregnancy, or now I'm classed as an intermediate risk pregnancy, but because I was classed as a high risk pregnancy, just in case something happens to me, or just in case something happens after birth. So for example, if I hemorrhage and can't breastfeed straight away, or if I have to have emergency surgery and it takes me a few hours to come round, if for whatever reason something goes wrong with the placenta and I start bleeding out, or if I have some other sort of complication that requires surgery and I can't breastfeed straight away, they want to have something available to feed baby with in that situation. And obviously colostrum, known as liquid gold, is very, very good in that situation, especially in the first few hours of birth. So I said, yep, fine, no problem. Apparently it's also good for helping maintain weight post-birth as well. I explained that to her and said, this is why I'm doing it. It's been recommended by my midwife, and I just thought I'd give it a go, see how it works. And so far, my chest is doing what it needs to do, which is good to see. It still needs to produce more. I need to have a good few syringes worth in stock in order to get them ready to go, but it's working. It's working, which is just the weirdest thing. It's the weirdest sensation. It's like, I think the hardest part of it for me is I'm currently getting 2 different colours of colostrum, which is apparently normal. You have the clear colostrum and then you have the more yellowy colostrum, depending on which duct is producing and what antibodies and immunities and stuff is in the colostrum, or something complex like that. I don't know. I'm not a biological scientist. I don't know the complexities of it, but apparently both types are normal. But to me, like especially the more yellowy one looks like pus. It's not. I have been reassured by my midwife, it is not pus. It just, that is the golden colour that people associate with liquid gold. But it does. It looks like you've got pus coming out of your nipples. It's really weird. And the first time you see those couple of droplets, it's the strangest sensation and it's the strangest feeling, because you really have to put not a huge amount of pressure on your boobs, but you really have to squeeze those boobs in order to get it to start pushing stuff through. And especially with a chest as big as mine, the twist and the twist and the angle I've got to get in order to get it out is just ridiculous. But it's working, and it looks weird and it feels weird and it just doesn't look real. Like seeing your nipples actually work and do their job for the first time is the strangest feeling. Like it's just the weirdest thing to look at, but it works. And they work, and that's all I care about, is the fact that they're doing their job. They're doing what they need to in preparation for his arrival, which is amazing. Absolutely freaking amazing. Since I've done my colostrum harvesting, I've come back downstairs. I'm about to go get some more stuff to eat because I am really, really hungry right now. I'm going to do a bit more video editing because I am far too awake to actually go to sleep, but I also don't want to do any exercise because the neighbours are asleep and we live in terraces. Or we live in a terrace, and Jason's also gone to bed, so I don't want to make too much noise. I don't want to make too much bouncing around or grunting or stuff like that. So unfortunately, due to baby demanding sleep today, I've not been able to get the exercise I wanted to get done. But I've at least had a productive day when it comes to colostrum harvesting, which I suppose is better than nothing right now. Tomorrow I've got a fairly busy day. I need to nip to the town centre and put some money in the bank that we got gifted over Christmas. I also need to run the farm shop and get some fresh fruit and a couple of bits of fresh veg because we're starting to run low. And I also need to run to either Aldi or Asda and get some bread, milk and eggs. After that, when I actually finally get home, I should have more than enough time to do some exercise. and hopefully the energy for it, and it's not going to be another day like today where I need to sleep for 90% of the day. We'll find out. We will find out tomorrow. Anyway, that's how the start of my 2026 has gone. It has been a day of sleeping, eating and colostrum harvesting, which is quite reminiscent of how I'm going to spend the first 2 weeks after Minnie arrives. But I do have to ask you to excuse me because my acid reflux is playing up and I really need to eat right now. So I will catch up with you guys tomorrow, whatever time that may be. So it is now Friday, which is week 37, day 4. I ended up going to bed at about 2:30, 3 a.m, somewhere around there last night, and had a fairly good night's sleep. I slept quite solidly for those few hours. My alarm went off at 8. I actually woke up about 9:30. I slept through my alarm. I must have needed the sleep. And I think I got up briefly around 6 o'clock to go to the toilet. Since getting up, I did another colostrum harvest, but I'm still not producing quite enough to actually physically collect a large amount in and fresh syringe. So I'm still using my practice syringe, or what I deem as my practice syringe. And I got a little bit more than I did yesterday, which is good. What did I get? Oh no, I got about the same amount as I got last night, but I still got something, which is better than nothing. Got up, I fed my animals, and I fed myself. We've had breakfast. Although, unfortunately, Jason seems to have stolen the last of the milk this morning for his breakfast, so I had to have noodles for breakfast, which I wasn't too happy about, but at least it's calories. It's still food at the end of the day. I've actually got a busy day planned in regards to from now. I need to go... Oh, pardon me. Oh. I am looking forward to the acid reflux calming down when the pregnancy is over. Whew, still feels like it's a long time away, but it still doesn't feel like anything's going to happen or anything's going to change in the next month, even though it is. It is very much going to change. Do you know what? I've been wide awake all morning since I woke up, and then suddenly I turn the camera on and I can't stop yawning. I've just yawned 3 times in the space of like 3 minutes. I've got a busy day today. I need to go to the farm shop and get some fruit and veg. I need to go into town and put some money away in my bank. And I also need to go to Asda or Aldi or one of the other local shops and get some essentials. But at least this means that I can get my steps in for the day. So I'm going to head to the farm shop first, get the fruit and veg, then head to town and drop off money at the bank on the way back. Or I might do it the other way around, I'm not too sure yet. But either way, we need to do a lot of driving now, and then when we get back, I'm actually going to walk to the local shop to get my steps in for the day so that I've at least done some cardio. And then when we get back, I'm going to have to see how I feel, whether or not I need a nap. Which at this rate I might, or see whether or not I have the energy to do some exercise. At the moment, I don't know, because I was fine up until I turned the camera on, and then suddenly I turned the camera on and I'm yawning and I'm tired and I'm exhausted. Ugh, irritating. Anyway, just another quick thing before I actually go and start doing my day-to-day. I weighed myself this morning because, again, I've been weighing myself about once a week on average, just to try and track to make sure that I am gaining weight, because physically I still don't look like I've gained weight. I still look pretty much the same as when I did when I first got pregnant. So I have been monitoring my weight just to make sure I am going up in weight, because that means that baby is growing, not necessarily me. Oh, for gosh sake. If the weight is going up, that means the weight is going on baby, which is what I want and what I need. And I am currently up to 120 kilograms. So I've gained 15 kilograms so far during this pregnancy, and it's nearly all baby weight. I say nearly because I think I have put on a tiny bit, but compared to most women, I've barely put any on at all. So it's all baby weight. That 15 kilograms is all amniotic fluid, placenta, womb growth, extra blood, baby themselves. It's just, I know baby is probably around 4 kilograms at this point. And then the other 10 kilograms is all extra liquid, extra fluid, extra blood, extra placenta, and everything in between. So I'm not getting myself down about it. I'm not getting myself down about it at all, because I know as soon as baby's out, give it 6 or 7 weeks and over half that weight will be off me immediately. But like I said, we don't actually care about weight this year. Weight loss is not one of our goals, and it will remain not one of our goals, but I am looking forward to being slightly lighter. I have actually genuinely surprised myself. I am genuinely surprised how well I am coping and how much mobility I've been able to maintain during this pregnancy. I know so many women who, when they get to, especially this stage in pregnancy, they can't pick things up off the floor, they can't put their own shoes and socks on. I have difficulty, but I can still do all of that. A lot of people can't exercise by this point. They're usually sleeping like crazy, and yes, I had a very sleepy day yesterday, but other than that, I've been doing fine. The pelvic girdle pain is still a big problem, but that's also because I've not been doing my exercises the last few weeks. So that's probably why that's got worse. But anyway, I need to go. I need to get to these shots. I need to stop procrastinating. I need to get it done. All right, let's go. Let's get my socks on and let's go. That is job number 1 done. Money's in the bank. I didn't really want to video too much of me walking through town because I didn't want to give away what town it was I'm in, even though some of you probably already know from past videos. Even so, 1 job done, panting after that. And that weather is bitter cold. Like, it's definitely coming into winter now. The air is chilly. The wind stings your face. And I really wish I'd put a neck scarf on right now. So bitter. That wind is so bitter. I'm going to take a couple of seconds just to breathe, catch my breath, and then it's time to go to the farm shop. Well, that definitely didn't go to plan. I didn't end up going to the farm shop. I did go to the farm shop, but it ended up being closed, so I don't know whether or not they closed at 12 o'clock today, or whether or not, like, closed early, or whether or not they just decided to have an extra day off and they'll be back open tomorrow. I don't know, because according to their online stuff, which apparently is up to date, they're meant to be open till 4 o'clock today. And it's not a bank holiday. It is windy though. It is back to normal. A lot of people have gone back to work today, including Jason. He's back at work today, and I'm here enjoying my maternity leave. But to be fair, even if I wasn't on maternity leave, I wouldn't be going back to work until Monday at the earliest. So this is still a normal day off for me. Being on maternity, being at full time still hasn't quite set in. But so instead, I've nipped home. I've done a quick stop by the toilet, because I was desperate for the toilet, and now I'm back out again on my walk to the shops to get my steps in. So if nothing else, I've done my cardio for today like I promised myself. I promised myself, if nothing else, I would still get my walks in at least an hour a day, every day, 5 days a week, to make sure I'm still doing the same cardio that I was doing when I was walking my dogs. So we're off to the shops, off for a walk once more. are done. I say we're done. Those are the errands for the day, or the main errands for the day. I'm now just walking home. I'm still at the start of my walk, so it's got quite a way to go yet. But it's going to take me about 20 minutes to get home now. Maybe 25, depending on how long it takes me to need a breather when I get to the bridge. Then I gotta get home, take 5 minutes just to breathe, get something to eat, maybe spend some time with the parrots, and then once all that is done, try, if I've got the energy, either get a nap if I need a nap, or get some exercises done if I've got the energy to exercise. But I do desperately want to get some exercise done tonight. And we're home. I got a wee home. I'm exhausted. That's actually taken up any remaining energy I currently have. But as much as I would love to go to bed right now and get a nap, I do need to eat. I am really hungry and my acid reflux has been playing up like crazy. So I'm going to quickly unpack my shopping bag and then breathe. Oh, so breathless. It literally feels like I've just ran a 5k. Oh my gosh. Ooh. As I was saying, I'm going to get a drink, get food, unpack this shopping, and then possibly get a nap because I need the energy reserves back. Now 3 o'clock in the afternoon and I am very tired, very tired. The food has not helped my energy at all. Those 2 walks, the walk into town and also the walk to the shop and back, has drained me of all my energy. And obviously I've been napping quite a lot the last couple of days. Oh, since yesterday at least. So I am going to go for a nap in a second. I don't know if you can tell, it's actually sunset right now. Oh, I'm looking forward to the longer days. The days are already getting longer, but I'm really looking forward to the long summer days. When Minion's here, he has been lovely and wriggly today. Not highly kicky, but he has been moving about quite a bit, which I am grateful for. Like I said, I'm going to go upstairs now. I'm going to try and harvest some colostrum while it's the afternoon, and then I'm going to go get a nap in. So I will see you guys when I wake up, and hopefully praying like crazy that I have the energy to do some exercise tonight. It is currently about 8:30 at night. I did end up going for a nap and I crashed out for about approximately 2 hours. As soon as I woke up, did some more colostrum harvesting and I did really well. I actually got 0.3 mils out this time, which was, it's a little bit more every single time, which is good. I am still so tired. I've been battling exhaustion like crazy since I woke up, but I needed food, so I got food. And then since then I've been video editing just to try and keep on top of my videos, because heaven knows baby's gonna come any day now and I'm still 6 weeks behind and I need to get to at least 2 weeks behind before I can start going down to 1 a week. But anyway, I've said that enough times. It's late, it's 8:30 at night and I am determined. I don't care how tired I am, I don't care how exhausted I am. God knows what Jason's doing in the kitchen, but I need to get some stretches done, at least. Even if I don't do any exercise, I at least need to get some hip stretches done. So that is what we're going to do now, so that I can then go jump in the shower, because heaven knows I need a shower, and then get a snack before bed. So I just mentioned that I need a shower and now Jason's mocking me with smelly sort of gestures. Oh, anyway, let's get these stretches done if nothing else. that is me done for the night. At least I got something done. The pelvic girdle pain was so bad at the start of those exercises. So freaking bad. And they are better now. I can say without a doubt they are less now that I've done those exercises. But no doubt they'll be back tomorrow or tonight when I try to go sleep. We'll just have to wait and see. For now, I'm going to go get a shower. I am going to go attempt to harvest more colostrum and then come back down, have a snack before bed because this acid reflux is already sending me skywards. And then hopefully get a good night's sleep. Because heaven knows I need it. So it is now week 37, day 5. It is Saturday. Jason's having a lie-in this morning and I don't blame him. He's had a busy week. He's been waking up early and going to bed late most of this week. Thoroughly enjoying the time off. And I don't blame him. I've told him to get as much rest as he physically needs because I am going to need him in the next few weeks to be as well rested as possible. I did my usual colostrum harvesting this morning because they tell you have to do it 3 times a day. So like I said, I tried to do it first thing in the morning, once in the afternoon, around 3ish, and then before I go to bed. Last night I produced loads. I got like 0.5 mil out between the 2 chests, which was astounding. That's the most I've got out in one sitting. And then this morning I said to myself, right, I'm actually going to start properly trying to collect it now because the first week has been almost like a practice run while I build up my supply. And then sod's law, this morning I've gone to harvest and I could only produce 0.1 mil between the 2. But I've been told that's normal. The supply, especially before baby arrives, the supply will come and go. So long as something is happening and it shows that my chest is working, that's all I care about. Oh, I am tired this morning. Oh, I'm very sleepy. I don't know why I'm very sleepy. It's like, granted I didn't get to sleep till about 2 AM last night, but I had a really good night's sleep. I woke up once for the toilet at 6. I didn't get up again then till 9, but for some reason I'm just super sleepy. But again, this could also be because baby is due any day now. And this is just my body preparing for labour and trying to make sure I get as much rest as possible by making me sleepier and tireder, making me sleep more, which is not handy when you need to eat. But I have changed up my breakfast slightly. I don't know if I've mentioned this previously, because obviously before for breakfast I was having the Huel meals and I wish I was still having them because I wouldn't be surprised if this tiredness is attributed to the lack of fuel because they are fully balanced meals, supposedly. We can't afford those right now. We are broke. Like beyond broke, until my maternity allowance kicks in, which I'm still waiting for. I've been told that according to my midwife, oats or porridge is very, very good for milk production. So I've started having oats with lactose-free milk, jam, and this morning I'm also trying to whip some bananas in the hope that it will help with milk production or colostrum production. And that is now my new regular breakfast. As far as today's concerned, we've not got a very busy day planned. It's one of our very few last quiet days together before Jason goes back to work full time. He's already technically gone back to work. His first day back was yesterday. His second day back is tomorrow. But today is like our last full day off together. It snowed. It snowed last night. We were very surprised. Sorry, off topic there. I just literally just looked outside and it reminded me that it did actually snow last night. But yeah, today I think I'm just gonna have a chill day with Jason. We need to clean the birds' room. We need to sort out Minion's room and organise and arrange all of his presents that he got over Christmas. And then work out what we still need to get before he arrives, which we'll need to do soon. We both keep putting it off, but unfortunately Jason is in charge of the money, so until he's ready to do something, I'm a bit stuck. How has this gone down from half a battery to no battery in the space of 5 minutes? That makes no sense. Anyway, I'm going to eat my breakfast and chill out for 5 minutes before I get stuff done. And I don't know yet whether or not I'm going to do any exercise. It depends whether or not I need a nap at some point soon. We'll see what the day brings. It's probably just going to end up being a gaming day, but you never know. So it's the last day of week 37, day 6. There is officially just 2 weeks until Minion's due date and 4 weeks maximum until we meet him. Very scary time, very exciting time at the same time. It's actually quite late. It's about 7:30 at night right now. And what a 24 hours we have had. My God, it has been so chaotic and so manic. A stress we definitely didn't need, but have ended up enduring through. My God, was it stressful? Yesterday, I pointed out to Jason that I think we had a leak in the kitchen near the sink. And the reason I thought this was because there was a patch of laminate by the sink which was rising at the joint. And I had tried drying it in case it was just like loose water on the floor. And I've been trying to dry it for 3 days straight and it was not drying. Like, it was constantly refilling with water, and it made no sense because it was refilling with water even when there was no one home or no one at the house or no one using the kitchen. So I said to Jason, I think we might have a leak. He was adamant that it wasn't a leak at one point and didn't worry about it. We carried on with our day, and we had a gaming day together. We had a chill day because we know we're not going to get many of those going forward. So we took full advantage of having a rest day and a gaming day, played games with each other until 10 o'clock at night, and then at just after 10 o'clock, Jason decided to investigate the source of this potential water, because even he realised that actually, yeah, there is quite a big collection of water gathering, even though we've had the dehumidifier on for God knows how long in the kitchen to try and dry it. So he decided to pull out the washing machine, and not long after he pulled out the washing machine, he actually saw some dripping. And it turns out the dripping was actually coming from a pipe which was connected to the boiler, or connected the boiler to the hot water tap. And it was a single connector that had come loose. So Jason got under the sink. After pulling the washing machine out, he got under the sink, found out which thing it was, and just went to touch it. Literally just touched it. That's all he did, because he realised it was hanging off, and he was trying to get an idea of how badly it was hanging off and wanted to screw it back on. The second he touched it, this pipe fell apart, and the water from the boiler and the main water valve just gushed everywhere. And unfortunately, it was the main supply from the boiler to the hot water pipe, so it was just going and going, and it was shooting out like a hose pipe, and he could not get it to stop. He tried reattaching it, and it wasn't happening because it was coming from the boiler. The water was scalding hot, so he was really struggling to actually try and get it back on. So I came racing in, immediately started running around the house trying to find the turn off tap for the water. Could not find it anywhere. I checked the gas cupboard, it wasn't in there. I checked the closet, it wasn't in there. My brain told me it should be near water, so it should either be in the kitchen or it'll be one of the bathrooms. Doesn't usually make sense for it to be upstairs bathroom, so I checked the downstairs bathroom. We did find a tap or a valve which looked like it should have been the water turn off valve, but we could not turn it. It was solid stuck. Like, you could not turn it off. Stuck. So I just thought maybe it's rusted and maybe it's moved to a different part. So we tried a different valve that was in the downstairs toilet. That didn't work. We tried other valves around the house. We tried valves on the boiler. Nothing was working. We could not get this water supply to turn off. I took another look at the valve in the back downstairs toilet, and I said, Jace, I think this is the valve, but I can't get it to turn. And Jason said, no, that's just the valve for the toilet. That has nothing to do with the water turn off tap. And from my own personal experience, I knew he was wrong, but I thought, you know what? I can't get it to budge. You're clearly not going to try it. I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt. I have a feeling I'm right, but let's see if we can learn the hard way. He then started running around the house trying to find the turn off water valve. So I ran into the kitchen and tried to reconnect the pipe to try and stop the flooding, because at this point our kitchen was flooding. Water everywhere. Absolutely everywhere. There was, at this point, at least a centimetre of water across the entire kitchen. I don't even want to think about how much water ended up at the back of that cupboard. But no matter how hard I tried, I could not get this pipe to stay in the other pipe to allow the water to push through and reduce the leaking. So my brain thought on the fly and went, oh, we've got a hose pipe outside. Let's try that. So I raced outside, grabbed the hose pipe, unattached it from the outdoor hose, ran back inside, put one attachment, or attached one end of the hose pipe to the pipe, and put the other end of the hose pipe in the sink so the water was at least draining away. And thankfully, that reduced the flooding in the kitchen. By this point, the water had been gushing so much that it was nearly an inch thick around the whole kitchen. The kitchen was full on flooded. We were both drenched. Now the problem was, because I was then holding the hose to stop the water from actually leaking any or too much further, and to make sure that most of it was going into the sink, I was then stuck. I couldn't move. I couldn't help Jason look for the valve. This had been going on for about 15-20 minutes by this point. It had been a while. So we started to panic, but we called our parents, because my dad is very DIY and plumbing handy, and so was Jason's dad. So we rang them. Jason tried to ring his parents first, but they didn't answer twice. So I rang my mum and dad. They didn't answer straight away, but they called us straight back. We explained the situation and said, we're really, really sorry for calling it this late at night. Do you have any idea where this water valve turn-off tap might be? My mum and dad didn't even hesitate. Apparently they were still awake. They were just watching a film, so they jumped in the car and raced straight over. Meanwhile, my mum was trying to give Jason directions of where the water valve might be. Meanwhile, I'm just trapped in the kitchen on this hot water hose pipe, trying to make sure the kitchen doesn't flood any further. And my God, it was chaos. It was absolute chaos. We were just desperate to get this water to stop at this point. After a quick chat with my mum, it turns out I was right. The valve in the downstairs toilet is the water turn-off valve, but the old owner had painted over the valve, and because he painted over the valve, that had locked it in place. So we physically couldn't turn the valve to get the water to stop. So while I was holding onto the hose on the phone to my mum and Jason was on the phone to his mum and dad, he ended up going to get one of his utensils from his DIY bag and scraped away the paint from the actual tap itself, and finally managed to get it to turn enough to actually turn the water off and stop the flooding. My God, was we relieved. My parents were already on the way, so they said they would come and just check and double check that all the things had been refitted correctly. By this point, we were just relieved. We were so relieved just that the water had stopped and the house wasn't going to flood, because we've only been here 6 months. The last thing we need right now is a major house renovation repair. We were planning on fixing the kitchen or replacing the kitchen eventually, but we definitely don't have the money to do it right now, especially not with a baby on the way. The last thing we wanted was a severely flooded kitchen where we would have to replace the whole kitchen. Anyway, once we got the water to stop, I ran upstairs while Jason tried to fix the connection in the pipes. I got every towel in the house. I am not even kidding. Every single towel I could get my hands on, went straight down the stairs into that kitchen and was used to try and mop up this flood water. It took at least an hour. It took so long, if not longer, to get as much of that water up as we physically could, and every towel was drenched by the end of it. My mum and dad turned up about half an hour after we originally called them. Dad actually had a look at the connector, and apparently this is a very common problem with plastic connection pipes. It's a suction connection of some form, and apparently they go faulty really easily, but it is what all plumbers use these days, which is just so infuriating because it means it can happen again. It could easily happen again and we'd have no control over it. While my dad was having a look at the plumbing with Jason to try and make sure that it wasn't going to come off again, I was busy still mopping up all the water, trying to dry as much as I physically could, and then banging all the towels into the washing machine ready to be washed for today, or ready to be put on a wash today, because at this point it was 11:30 at night. It was so late. The adrenaline had finally started slowing down with me, so at one point I had adrenaline shakes from the craziness of it all, because when you're put in that high stress situation, one of two things will happen. You'll either lose your marbles, or your brain will activate and you'll know exactly what to do, or you'll do your best to know exactly what to do and you can deal with the stressful situation, but you then have a major adrenaline crash right after. That is essentially what happened to me. Both me and Jason are really good in emergency situations. It's why he is doing the job that he does, and it's why I've been a trained lifeguard and first aider in the past, as well as care worker, because we're both really, really good in high stressful situations. But the energy crash afterwards, my God, I had the shakes so badly. After my mum and dad checked the connector, we calmed ourselves down. We took about half an hour to just try and calm down from the craziness of it. And our adrenaline levels were not changing. We were still both wired by the time we actually tried to go to bed. And by this point, it's like 1 o'clock in the morning. We've dried everything. We've got the dehumidifier on constant for the night to try and dry out the kitchen as best as possible. And we both came to bed about 1 o'clock in the morning and we were wired. We were both wide awake. Jason was only just coming down from his adrenaline rush and he was not ready for bed. He could not turn his brain off and neither could I. So we ended up reading a couple of chapters of our books just to try and turn our brains off, and then hit the hay because we were both up early today. Jason was in work all day and I had my parental class with his mum, and we both woke up so tired because we were struggling to get to sleep because of the adrenaline rush. But the parental class was actually really, really good. I do highly recommend for anyone in the UK that is under NHS care and gets offered to attend a parental class or an antenatal parental class to go for it. It is very, very, very valuable information. The class itself went from 10 o'clock till 3 o'clock, so it's a pretty long class. Highly recommend taking food and drinks and snacks if you don't want to get like the food at the shop at the hospital. But it was a very informative class. A lot of the information I already knew, because the first half they actually cover what happens when you're going into labour, so how to tell the signs that you're going into labour, the different stages of labour, and what is actually going to happen on the build-up. They then went through the actual labour itself, all the different medications available, or all the different pain relief options available, what can happen during labour, the different options such as natural, induction, C-section and everything in between, what to expect and why to keep an open mind, because obviously things can't necessarily go to plan. They will talked about birth plan and preferences and things like that, which I already knew a majority of those first two topics in my own research. However, after a small break, we then went on to this third part of the conversation, which was what happens after you have delivered baby. What checks they do on baby, how they look after you, what can happen, what will happen in XYZ situation. So if you have to have an emergency cesarean and you're out for the count, what will happen with baby, what they'll do, what happens while you're coming round, what happens if there's a problem with baby, what happens if there's a problem with mum, how that will get treated, how dad gets involved, what happens with cord clamping and stuff, and your preferences. That was very educational because that is a side that most of the time you can't find information on. There's not really a lot of information on it online. There's not really a lot of information on it on birth vlogs and things like that, because let's be honest, that's the part that gets neglected. Most people are concerned about the actual labour and the birth. Not a lot of people know what happens post-birth. So that was very informative and very educational, and something definitely worth going just to learn about. The fourth and final part was actually what happens after birth and you and baby are ready to go home. What kind of checks you'll get from the midwives, how they check up on you, when they'll check up on you, and the health visitor visits, as well as when you can expect to go home, what can happen if you stay in the hospital. They also gave advice on what to pack for your hospital bag, which was great because I packed my hospital bag the other day and there's only a handful of stuff that I actually missed off, such as a dressing gown or a nightgown and slippers. They were the only real things. Other than that, I've got everything in my hospital bag ready and ready to go. But yes, they gave hospital bag advice on what to pack for you, what to pack for baby. They also gave advice on how to bath baby for the first time, which I found very educational because that is one thing that I was really concerned about and worried about to an extent, because I didn't know how to bath a baby. I've never done it before. So learning or being able to learn that and the correct method and correct techniques was very valuable in my eyes. And then we finished with a tour of the birthing ward or the birthing suites, the labour ward, the aftercare ward, and also the nest, which is basically home birth away from home, or as comfortable and as cozy as you can possibly have it. And do you know what? I am genuinely very grateful I went to that class and got that tour of the wards, because it made me look around and go, I really want to be on the nest, because the birthing suite is they've tried to make it cozy, but it is very hospitalised. You do feel like you're in a hospital in the birthing suite and the labour ward. Whereas the nest is so cozy and feels so much more comfy and welcoming and just such a better sensation. It's just, I'd really want to give birth on the nest over the birthing suite if I can help it. And there's also a lot more options for pool births or water births, which is one of my preferences. But yeah, that has been our day, or our last 24 hours. It has been hectic, it has been hell, and it has been crazy, but we survived it. We freaking survived it. Oh my God, it's been insane. And it's even more insane to think that tomorrow starts starts week 38, which means that in 4 weeks or less, Minion will be here. This is officially the last month. He could arrive next week, he could arrive the week after, he could arrive the couple of weeks after that. We're on the very, very, very final stretch now. We have a growth scan and obstetrician appointment tomorrow, so I will inform you guys or update you guys on the next vlog with how that goes. Hopefully all goes well, because the last thing I want is for them to go, oh, he's not growing as much, we need to look at induction, because I'd be like, no! But I'd also need to consider the risk that the reason he might not be growing is due to placenta complications or other factors. There's a lot to consider in this last growth scan if he is not growing as much as they would like. Hopefully he is. Hopefully he's still growing as normal. Tomorrow's the last growth scan. Hopefully. After that, God knows when he'll arrive. But it's the exciting weeks now. It's the exciting weeks. It's the build-up weeks of his arrival. I will see you guys in the next vlog. And like I said, I will update you on my growth scan. And then it's my actual first week of maternity leave. I say that because my very first week of maternity leave was Christmas week. The second week was New Year's week, which was this week, which has just been chaotic and hectic. This coming week is my first official maternity leave week, where I would usually be going back to work at this time of year. Whereas no, on this occasion, I get to stay home and prepare for baby, which is just madness. So I will see you guys very soon in the next vlog.